Okay, this next example is obviously example 6 here in your book. So if you'd like to read uh, about it instead of listening to the video, you're more than welcome to. Here we're going to be finding percent increase and percent decrease. And again, these are percents. It's not just the increase and the decrease. It's a percent increase and percent decrease. So here we have a nice graph projecting a world population growth. And so let's just go ahead and read it. In 2000, world population was approximately 6 billion. Okay, so here's 2000, and right here's the year, and the population in billions, right there is the 6 billion that they're talking about. 5 billion is right there, right? 6 billion is just a little bit higher than that. And so figure 8.2, right, this figure shows world population projections through the year 21, right, all the way to 2150. Now, the data are from United Nations Family Planning Program and are based on optimistic, right, or pessimistic expectations for successful control of human population growth. So, two things we want to find. The first one is we want to find, and let me go ahead and maybe put this in blue. We want to find the percent increase in the world population from, of course, from 2000 to 2150 using the high projective data. So they're telling us to use the high projection data. So our high projection data is the blue guy here. Whoops. So if we look at the graph, our right, the highest, right, in 2150, right, the high projection is going to be 30 billion people in the world, right? In 2000, it's only 6 billion, right? So there's a difference, right, between the 30 billion and 6 billion. So if you notice on page 491, right, when we want to find percent increase, so percent increase, okay, it's a fraction, right? It's a percent. And by definition, it's the amount of increase over the original amount. Well, what's the original amount? The original amount is 6 billion, so it's just 6. And the amount of increase, well, how much was increased? Well, it went from 6 billion all the way to 30 billion. So that's the difference, right, is subtraction. It's just 30 minus 6, right? So this is, again, original amount. And let's go ahead and put amount of increase. And hopefully you should have these definitions on your sheet. And so then you're left with 24 over 6, which is just 4. But this is a percent, okay? It's not just 4, right? If we look at what's happening, well, in 2000, it started at, okay, so 2000, okay, we had 6 billion people in the world. Well, if it was 100% increase, right, it would double, right? It would be another 6 billion. So that would be 12 billion, right? That would be 100% increase. But it didn't go to 12 billion, right? It went all the way to 30 billion. So if you keep adding 6, right, we get 18 billion, right? It's multiples of 3. That would be 200%. And again, hopefully you're seeing the pattern here. If you add 6 more, it'd be 24. And that's billion, that's not a 6, right? That would be 300%. But again, we went all the way to, it went from 6 billion and it increased all the way to 30 billion. That's a really big jump. So it's going to be 400%. Okay, so this guy is really 400% increase. So we say the projected percent increase in world population is 400%. And let's go ahead and do part B. And part B is the percent decrease. Okay, very similar. Decrease. Okay, so again, it's the original amount, which is 6, and then the amount of decrease. Now, notice in the problem, it says use, let me go ahead and scroll down. Right, part B is just, let's see, make this green since we're technically going to look at the green line. Percent decrease. It says use the low projection data. So if we look at the green line, right, in 20, what's the difference? In 2150, we have about 4 billion. And right, notice in 2000, it's still 6 billion, right? And it's increasing, but then it starts decreasing. Okay, so the difference between our 6 and 4 is obviously 2. But again, I want you to write the actual 6 minus 4, not 4 minus 6, because that'll be different. So 6 minus 4, which is just 2/6, which is just a third. Okay, and a third, if you punch in your calculator, right, is going to be 0.33333 or 33 1/3%. So this is really 33 1/3 percent. Right, if you want to even say, so you have 1/3, and in your calculator it's 0.3333, right, and it keeps repeating. So if you want to change it to a percent, right, your decimal would be right there. So 33, and again, this is just another, right, that's just another 1/3%. So the projected percent decrease in world population is 33%.